So these things we see with youth, it's not only with the youth, it's everywhere in our society. And social media, I can point a finger at social media, the way the algorithm works. Okay, most of us have been in our bubbles, okay, either right or left, and we have lost the ability to adapt whenever anything we don't like fair to us.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I tell people, read a book, okay? Because I read. I mean, my social media does that, okay? But luckily, on my YouTube, I have so many different people. So when I notice that YouTube has been sending me a particular thing, I go back, I go to my subscription, and deliberetely click on one of those other channels, so that
absolutely. I think that there's something in that. I think we've allowed the internet and social media to dictate how we use it, rather than now we need to create learning. If we're using education, right, create systems that young people are being taught how they navigate social media. How do we make sure?
No, I see. Unfortunately, I think the government needs to force social media, because if they don't, social media wants us to stay on that platform, and the best way to make us stay on their own platform is to continuously feed us what we're happy with.
Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, we'll leave. Now that means government needs to force them to change how the algorithms work. Otherwise, we will enable them to break society. You know, I like freedom. I want the government to step away, but in this instance, it's for the security of the society.
And when we look at the concept of freedom, absolutely, freedom is very important. But there are certain forms of one person's freedom that encroaches on another person, and so that's where the government comes in, where we find how we straddle that line where your freedom doesn't encroach on someone else's freedom, and vice versa. And currently now it's becoming very difficult for somebody who has an alternate view to what is being pushed on social media. Speak up, and now their freedom, as far as I'm concerned, their freedom is being encroached upon to some extent. So we have to find another way to live harmoniously, because there are other thoughts out there that in fact many people agree with but are too afraid to speak out on, for fear of being cancelled.
Exactly.
Whatever it is, many people are you hear it even around my own friendship groups. They'll have to say, I have a very unpopular opinion. They have to start with that. I have a very unpopular opinion, because now if they just come out and say it, you'll be shocked. But because they're afraid of people's reaction to anything other than the mainstream, at least right now.
So we are censoring ourselves. Okay, to avoid triggering someone.
Right.
Exactly what we don't need. So just because we're afraid of being cancelled, we censor ourselves. So see, it might look ridiculous, but if we can speak our minds, in essence, we can think.
And it also means we can't change our minds. And what I want people to understand about the idea of silencing a person that doesn't agree with you is the fear of them, if they have a fear of not being able to speak out, if let's say you have a point, right? As in like the thing that someone else has to say isn't what you agree with, by not allowing that person to voice it, you actually miss the opportunity of them perhaps learning something new and you learning something. There could be a middle ground, there could be a different thought process that you can shed light on their thoughts, but if you refuse to allow them to speak, that conversation never happens, that change,
exactly.
And so if you want to essentially get more harmony and more understanding, actually more uncomfortable conversations need to happen for us to get there. And I think people see it that way, maybe you'll get closer to that, but that isn't what is being pushed right now.
So again, these issues breaking society in the West, and my fear for Africa is that because of our inherent tribalism,
that's true.
Yes, if we allow this to fester in our society, the cracks will be so wide, and the sparks will fly in to allow us to build the Africa we want. You know, if you can sit down, argue, shake the floor, and at the end of the day say, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. You know, we will not be able to create that Africa we want, because to build a great society, you guys need to talk, disagree, debate.
Exactly. Especially if somebody is on the lines of Pan-Africanism. There is no way the concept of Pan-Africanism can even have wings in any kind of way if this isn't accepted. This idea that we come together and we have conversations which could lead to compromise, which could lead to a changing of minds. That has to happen if we're going to get together. As the concept of one Africa isn't because we have become a monolith. We no longer, it doesn't mean that we're now all the same. That's what
we will never be.
Exactly.
But to build Africa, that one Africa, then we need to be able to talk about those things that divide us.
Exactly.
We need to be able to talk about them and say, okay, I understand that. Okay, but I agree to share this and take your position in that. You know. So so these are the issues. You guys in education, so you guys need to start sharing these things with the administrators and with the students.
Right.
You know? Yeah. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. There is a lot there. There's a lot there.